Thanks for joining me today. I'm just going to be working out. I'm doing a full body kettlebell workout today. You can follow along and get some ideas from my workout. It's going to be kettlebell and body weight. There might be one exercise I'm going to use dumbbells for, but you could skip that one if you don't have any dumbbells available and just focus on the portions with the kettlebell. So I'm going to get started with a warm-up. If you guys have questions, thoughts, comments during the live, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. I'm excited to be back live on YouTube. It's been a while since I've been live, so hopefully you're joining me here. And even if you're joining later and watching this when it's no longer live, say hello. Let me know that you watched it. Let me know if you have any requests for future YouTube lives.
Hi, little one. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you always want to be pet when I'm working out. How does that work? Hi, sweet honey. I love you, little honey. Hi. Are you being cute for the camera? Are you being cute? Oh, little sweetie. Oh, little sweetie. Oh, good girl.
This is going to become just a cat live. You can't see her, but she's the cutest little kitty. Oh, you can see her little tail. Oh, good girl. Good girl. So always make sure to superset your warm-up exercises with kitty pets. It's the best. It's really the best endorphin boost you're going to get. Hi. Hi.
Oh, you never meow this much.
And this is why I have to vacuum every day. Oh, we got another one. This is really just turning into featuring cute cats on YouTube.
Hi. Oh, you guys are so cute. Why do you want to be petted right now? Right now, huh?
every good workout starts with a boring warm-up. And I'm going to hang a little bit, move the camera so you can see my pull-up bar, stall bar, pull-up bar contraption. I love this thing. It's my favorite addition to my home gym. Before this, I didn't have anywhere to hang. Only place I could hang was go to the park. So I love the fact that I can now hang at home. I love rotating while hanging. Whew, it always cracks my back. I'll single arm hang. I work up my endurance on these. Okay, we're going to start off pretty simple today. I'm going to start with deadlifts and pelvic tilts. So pelvic tilts like I just did in the warm-up, that's going to be kind of my rest in between sets of deadlifts. I'm going to go a little bit heavier on my deadlifts. Hey Aaron, thank you so much for joining today. So let's see. I'm going to use my Bells of Steel adjustable kettlebell here. This one is 32 kg, so it's about 70 pounds. For me, it's a pretty light deadlift. I'm gonna do about 10 reps, and I'll warm up with this, and I may go a bit heavier depending on how I'm feeling. I have been doing a little bit of heavier lifting every now and again the last few weeks. Really enjoying it. Whew. All right. Pelvic tilts, one of my favorite exercises to work the lower abdomen and the muscles of the pelvic floor while loosening up the lower back. All right, I'm gonna load up a bit heavier. These are my two heaviest bells I've got upstairs here without having to go down to my garage. So it's a 32 and 24. It's a bit of a gap, but I'm gonna do some reps and then I'll swap them around and do some reps that way. So just like an offset deadlift. Aaron asked, with deadlifts and kettlebells, is it about maximum weight, like progressive overload? No, it's not about maximum weight. In fact, I recommend most of your training should not be at maximum effort or maximum weight at all. You want to reduce your injury risk by not always pushing maximum. And progressive overload can be done in many other ways besides weight, and I would actually recommend doing it in other ways besides weight before you increase weight. So doing slow tempo is one way to progressively overload, especially with a light kettlebell where you do like a 4-second count down and then a 4-second count up. That's going to increase your time under tension, which is a way to progressively overload, making it more difficult. So for a deadlift, what I'm showing is like the most basic form of a deadlift, but you could also do it in a stagger stance, in a kickstand stagger stance. You could do a single leg deadlift. So there the progression is going to make it harder. You could reduce your rest time between exercises. You could increase your repetitions. there's many ways to progressively overload besides weight, and I highly recommend focusing on those other ways to progressively overload before you increase. Hope that makes sense, Erin. Also, I'm going heavier. Remember the weight that I'm doing. I have been strength training since since I was about 14. I've been strength training for 20 years. So remember that wherever you're at on your journey, what heavy looks like to you may be different from what heavy looks like for me or for somebody else. Okay, I'm going to swap it. I'm just going to flip around and do that. So I don't have to move those bells. Do 10 reps here. Whew. All right, that was a good challenge. Whew. Work some tilts. Okay, I'll take a little breather for our next set. You're welcome, Erin. Happy to answer any other questions you guys have. Let me know in the chat. You can help me pass my rest time by asking me questions. So as I mentioned, this one kettlebell here, this is my Bells of Steel adjustable competition kettlebell, which is fairly new. I haven't trained with it a ton. I'm excited to have it so I can adjust it for different weights. And this one is a Vulcan 24 kg kettlebell, which I also really like. I also really like this. It's got nice coloring on those bells. You can see the other ones in the background there, the yellow, blue, and pink. Just love those bright colors. Erin said I have a friend that basically had a back injury. I told him about kettlebell solo as isometric holds are much safer than dynamic swings. Yes, absolutely, Erin. Isometric training is going to be a lot safer when coming back from injury than jumping into something like a kettlebell swing. A kettlebell swing is first and foremost not a beginner exercise, and I would say it's not a good exercise to return back to immediately after a back injury. You definitely want to take it slow, take your time rebuilding your foundation, and just checking in with your nervous system, because after you have an injury, your body is more on alert because of that injury. And so you want to make sure that your nervous system finds safety again in the training that you're doing. So I would say it's a great idea for your friend to do isometrics before doing kettlebell swings, absolutely. And just reminding him to take his time and be patient, and make sure that he's kind of starting from much lower or easier than he thinks he needs to, and just very slowly building back up. It's easy when we have an injury to want to jump right back into what we were doing, but usually it's best to ease up and slowly build your way back. I know it can be hard. Okay. Set completed. Yes, absolutely, Erin. That's great advice. Listen to your body. Don't train till you're fully recovered. Great advice. You're a good friend for reminding him of that. Okay, we're going to move into some sumo squats and tempo push-ups, one of my favorite upper body exercises. So we're going to start with the legs, sumo squats. I think my legs might be toast tomorrow after this workout. All my favorite leg exercises, going a little heavier on some of these today. Usually I stay a bit lighter, but this has been a good challenge to go a little bit heavier than I normally do. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great exercise. Target the inner thighs and the booty. Now we're going to go tempo push-ups, which is going to be 4 counts down, 4 counts up. You can always do this at an incline. If it's too challenging for you from the floor, you can do it from your knees. That's another way to modify it. I personally prefer incline push-ups from the feet over knee push-ups. Better core activation, better full body activation. Okay. Just 5 reps here. Whew, that'll definitely take your push-ups to the next level. All right. We're going to see how the sumo squat feels with both kettlebells. I haven't tried this, so we'll see if this works out or not. Load it up a little bit heavier like I did on my deadlift. And see how that feels. Hey. Cat scratching the curtains. Definitely a bit harder. Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch it out at 5 there. I'm not going to try 10 per side at that. A little too hard. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. Okay. Push-ups up next. Oh, thank you, Erin. Erin said, I think you're the best kettlebell coach on YouTube. You seem to really value safety over everything else. I recommended your channel. Thank you, Erin. I appreciate that. I have learned from experience, so hoping to save people some of the mistakes that I made and some of the consequences that I got from trying to push too heavy too fast or too often, trying to help people have a really solid foundation when they get started. So your recommendation is much appreciated. Okay, set number 2 on push-ups. Tempo push-ups, 4 counts down, 4 counts up. Whew. Highly recommend tempo push-ups, especially if you're working on getting your full push-up. Tempo push-up from your knees or incline is a great way to build up your strength towards a full push-up. Or even a 4 count down, 1 count up, or 1 count down, 4 counts up. Great ways to improve the strength. And as I mentioned earlier in response to your question, Erin, a great way to progressively overload without increasing weight. And with push-ups, increasing in weight is kind of hard because someone's going to either put a weight plate on your back, you're going to have a weighted vest. So you can increase the challenge with changing your tempo or your time under tension. All right, going back to our sumo squats here. I'm doing a unevenly loaded, an offset, I guess you might call it, sumo squat because I want to load up a little heavier, and these are the weights I got. So I got my 32 kg, my 24 kg. I'm gonna do 5 reps, swap them over 5 reps. Whew. Okay, these heavy weights are getting my heart rate up a bit today. Okay, last set. Starting from the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, switching sides. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Whew. A little breather. And then we'll do our last set of push-ups. Oh, South to West is here. Thanks for joining me. I had a feeling you'd be back today. Join me for my first live back. Yeah, I felt kind of bad because for those of you who have been consistently watching my live when I was doing it every week or a few times a week, I just totally dropped off, and then I came back, and then I totally dropped off again. So I apologize, and I appreciate you if you are showing up consistently, and I appreciate you being here now. And I'm not sure how consistent I'll be, because sometimes I get totally burned out on social media, but I will definitely at least pop up on here from time to time. Hi, Daniel, thanks for joining. All right, I'm gonna finish up my last set of tempo push-ups. Feel free to join me if you like. It's 5 reps, 4 counts down, 4 counts up. One, 2, 3, 4, 6. Whew. All right, that's 5. Okay. All right. Next set. I am not going easy on myself today. Next set, I've got Bulgarian split squats. You're gonna see how I set them up. I've got a great setup for Bulgarian split squats, which actually makes me enjoy doing them. I used to really detest them, but I'm gonna grab my little tool that I'm gonna set up on my stall bar. Yes, you heard that right. So I've got this little rack here. I'm gonna set up, it's got a little pad there to make it a little bit more comfortable. And so then all I'm gonna do is just boop, and I'm ready to do my split squats. So that's how I'm gonna do my split squats. I'm gonna either do 5 or 8 per side. Let me know in the chat if you think I should do 5 reps per side or 8 reps per side. I have to figure out what weight I'm gonna use. I don't think I wanna use the same weight I've been using. I don't think I wanna go that heavy. Okay, I'm gonna be nice to myself, and I'm gonna use 2 12s to start, but we'll do 8 reps per side and see how that goes for this first set here. And I'm gonna lean forward a bit to get a little bit more glute focus on my split squat. 2, 3, 4. Honestly, it's not as bad this way. 5, 6. It's not as much range of motion. 7, 8. Still hard though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, maybe I went a little easy on myself, so I'll do those. On my next set, R.I.P. Jane Goodall. Did she die? Did Jane Goodall die? I hope not. All right, I'm gonna do some pec flies, kind of random, but I don't even have matching dumbbells. This is an 8 and a 10. So we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see how this feels here. Okay, it's probably challenging enough. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slow them down a little. 7. Help me really control that full range of motion. 8. It's amazing how much you can get out of light weights just by slowing it down and staying a little longer in those sticking points. Okay, we're gonna swap sides because my dumbbells are uneven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Set those down. Somebody said R.I.P. Jane Goodall. I don't know if it's true that Jane Goodall died. I'm gonna have to look at this. But Jane Goodall is that lady who studied the gorillas. Oh, she did die. I see that. That's sad. Thank you for letting us know, Daniel. Rest in peace, Jane Goodall. She was awesome. I always thought she was very inspirational. I'm just recording what weights I'm using here for my workout. I got a little log where I like to record that. I don't record everything, but I record it when I remember to. Oh, Daniel said I dropped a dumbbell on my face when doing a pullover in a ball like that in high school. I wasn't wearing a shirt and slipped off. Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that. Were you injured? Were you badly injured? I hope you didn't break your nose or anything. Okay, it's a good reminder to be cautious, so thanks for the reminder. Safety first, that's for sure. All right, psych myself up for these. I'm gonna try to do 8 per side. We got our 16s now, so I'm doing 32 kg. Let's see how this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 okay. We got this. 8 on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Definitely don't need to go up in weight with those. Oh, Daniel said just chipped my teeth and the dentist fixed it. Well, you're lucky. I'm glad it wasn't anything major. Daniel asked if I ever do pistol squats. Yes, occasionally. I'm not a huge fan of pistol squats. I feel like my hip and ankle mobility isn't optimal for it, so I don't do them all the time, but I do like to do them assisted with using my stall bar and the little additional accessory I have to put on it. That's this moving bar that I can hold on to as I go up and down. So I do like to do assisted pistols. I don't really load them at this point. I'd rather do a different leg exercise, honestly. Aaron said your legs are gonna feel like they don't belong to you tomorrow, LOL. They might, we'll see. Sometimes I surprise myself. Sometimes I'm really sore and sometimes I'm not. Remember, I've been strength training for 20 years, so it won't make me quite as sore as somebody who's doing this for the first time. And these are all exercises that I regularly do, so they're in my rotation. They're in my rotation. All right, here we go. Nice, slow tempo. These just feel like a really nice stretch on my pecs. Two, as somebody who's primarily trained kettlebells for most of my strength training, at least in the last 14 years, sometimes I really just like doing some basic dumbbell exercises because it's something I didn't do a ton of when I was starting, or at least through the majority of my training years, so I've been enjoying doing that now. 6, 7, 8, If you guys have any favorite dumbbell exercises, let me know what they are in the chat. Or if you got any favorite kettlebell exercises, let me know what those are in the chat. Now, don't swap dumbbells like I just did if you're lifting anything heavy, okay? I don't recommend it. It's just how I do it because I don't want to take the extra time to set them down. Don't do it like me, okay? Do that at your own risk. I'm not recommending it. 3, 4, starting to feel it on this second set. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This would be a safer way to set your dumbbells down. Okay, just one set to go here. Looks like Daniel likes incline dumbbell flies. Yes, those are good. Pec flies or reverse flies? Both are good exercises. I do have a incline bench that I also can attach to my stall bar, so I love to do some incline exercises, reverse flies. These ones, I don't know what those are called, just like push forward, pec flies, rows. Incline bench is great for a lot of stuff. Aaron asked, how would you improve someone's strength that has reduced massively because they're ill? I've said about just holding something heavyish with a concrete block, 4 kg-ish, then having protein after. As far as improving someone's strength after they're ill, I would just, honestly, I think isometrics are a good way. I think starting very slowly with maybe a daily or every other day of a very short routine, limiting the amount of time, maybe just taking 3 to 5 minutes to do 1 or 2 exercises and just keeping consistent with that for a month or 2 before increasing. So just starting slow. I would agree with you. Protein is important. Ideally, high quality animal protein. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I'm not a dietitian, but that is what I would do to make sure that your body has the building blocks it needs to recover. But there's many ways that it can be done. I think the biggest key is just consistency, and in order to be consistent, whatever you're doing needs to be sustainable. I think the biggest mistake I see people make is try to go too hard or too far too fast. So like, oh, I'm gonna start by a 30-minute walk every day for the next week. Well, if you're not doing anything at all, that's gonna be way too much. You're gonna be so dead from day 1, you can't even do day 2. So make sure whatever you do on day 1 is easy enough that on day 2, you either don't feel what you did or you barely feel it, and that way you can continue, because it's that consistency over time that's gonna lead you to return to your strength. You're welcome, Aaron. Thanks for your thoughtful questions. Okay, last set of split squats. Let's start with my other leg this time, just to mix it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Glad to be done with those. Bulgarian split squats are one of the ones I love to hate. Okay, last set of pec flies. Then I have one more set of exercises and then finish with a farmer carry. Hey, YouTube punk, you missed the kitties. They were all over this area at the beginning of this workout, but I'll give you guys just a little peek. There she is. I don't know how to zoom in on YouTube, but so cute, so cute. See, as soon as I turned my camera to show you my cat, the amount of viewers on this live stream just bumped like, cats? And all these people just jumped on. Yes, she's wiped out. She's so tired from a rough day of eating, getting pet, napping, and playing with her toy mouse. It's a rough life. I hope your pets are doing well as well, YouTube punk. Thanks for joining us. Ooh, I'm going out of screen. I'm really gonna need to, this is really not a good example of how to get into this exercise. You guys, this is the reality of when I work out at home. I don't have to worry about what I look like being in the gym with other people. I just do whatever. One, I know I said this was a full body kettlebell workout and I'm doing an exercise with dumbbells. I'm sorry. It was just, I don't know, for some reason I wanted to do this exercise today. I probably saw someone do it somewhere and thought, oh, haven't done those in a while. 4. Ooh, stretch at the bottom feels so good. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, I'm gonna have to wipe this off. I got it all grossly sweaty. Whew. YouTube Punk said you can edit that part out. I could, but I don't edit my lives. I just leave it candid, uncut, real, unfiltered, raw. Daniel said it's more pressure going live. Yeah, I try to keep it as casual as I can. These days, honestly, since COVID, since I stopped working out in a gym, I like to work out at home where no one is. No one is watching me. So when I occasionally go live, it's like, oh, someone's watching me work out now. You know, I used to work out in a gym all the time, work out with people all the time. Since COVID, it's just changed a lot. But you know, being an instructor, I gotta be used to it. I gotta keep up the practice. So you guys are helping me continue to practice here. Okay, so now, speaking of isometrics we talked about earlier, I'm gonna do some side lunge holds, 30-second per side. That's just like this, simply this position, right? I'm gonna hold it 30 seconds per side. It's an exercise that's historically bothered my left hip. I have like a pre-existing, some injury and pain in that one, but doing holds have been really helpful in building my strength and reducing the pain I feel when I do reps of side lunges and Cossacks. So isometrics are great for regaining strength and building trust with your nervous system. So we're gonna work those, and then we're gonna do some overhead tricep extensions and shoulder rainbows, and then finish it out with a farmer hold. Aaron said, you left us all hanging the other day when you asked us to guess how many times a week you train, LOL. You're right, I totally did leave you hanging, and I thought about that. I thought, at some point I'm gonna have to answer the question of how many times I train so I don't leave people hanging, but I did, so thank you for reminding me, Aaron. And if you're watching this live, I'll tell you, although, honestly, I don't train a consistent amount of days per week. Hey Kevin, thanks for joining from Ireland. About 5 years ago when I first started kettlebell solo, I was training just twice a week for an hour, doing kettlebell solo exercises with a lightweight like an 8 kg or 18-pound kettlebell. In the last year or so, I kind of just train according to how I feel. So let's see, the last day I trained before this, the last day I did strength training was September 23rd, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, I think it was September 23rd. So that's more than a week ago. That's about 8 days ago. That was the last day I think I did a strength training, although I'm thinking I might have done something a couple days later. Anyway, it's been about a week since I did my last strength training exercise. So usually I train anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week strength training, and then every other day I walk at least once a day. Occasionally, if I'm really tired, I won't walk at all. I just won't do anything. I'll just stay around the house. But most days I do at least one walk, maybe 2, and sometimes I do a bike ride instead of a walk or in addition to the walk. But really I strength train anywhere from 1 to 3 times per week. This workout right now is lasting longer than it normally would because I'm taking breaks to like chat at the camera, and usually I'd be moving through it a little faster. So this is a little bit of a longer one because of that. But 1 to 3 times a week, and I train anywhere from 45 minutes to 90 minutes. Let me know if that's aligns with your guess or not. Yes, South to West said make it sustainable. You got to make it sustainable, no matter what that looks like for you. Yeah, it's got to be pretty late in Ireland. No, I think it's in Ireland. It's like what, 11 p.m. or so. Okay, so we're gonna go into our side lunges. 30 seconds hold. So I'm gonna use the timer on the live to let me know when I'm at 30 seconds. How low you go really depends on your range of motion and what's challenging for you. I'm not going as low as I possibly can. I'm just going to a place where I feel all my muscles are working and activated, and I'm not feeling any pain or discomfort in my hips. T-Dog asked, do you ever use echo bikes or spin bikes? I have in the past. It's funny you should ask that because I actually just found an Airdyne bike in my neighborhood out for free on the street, and I've been wanting some kind of exercise bike in our garage for quite a while, so we've just added that, but I haven't used it yet because it's quite dirty and rusty and we're gonna have to clean it up a bit. So I do like exercise bikes, and I think it's a good option, especially if it's raining or you don't have time to like go out for a bike ride or a walk and you just have a few minutes. I think it can be a great option. Kevin says 9:51, not too late. Oh, I forgot. It's a little earlier there than it is in other parts of Europe. I was thinking the Netherlands, Germany, that area is usually, I believe it's 9 hours. Your strength. Aaron said, my strength is outing my cardio now. What, outing like you're doing more strength than cardio? T-Dog said, sweet, will you ever do a live with it? That's a good idea. I mean, if you want to see me really huffing and puffing on a live, I'll do an Airdyne workout, but I am open to it, so if that's your request, T-Dog, we can definitely do a Airdyne or any kind of exercise bike workout. Okay, I see. It is a request. It is a request. Okay. Let's see. We're going to do some overhead tricep extensions. You could do these standing or kneeling. Let's see how this goes. I got my 35-pounder, which may or may not have been a mistake. 2. I'm going to do 10, 3, 4, 5. You go heavy enough. This is quite the ab workout. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I just barely made that. Archana said, hi, on your membership, do you show exercises on the Swiss bar too? I assume, do you mean the stall bar here, the ladder, or do you mean a Swiss ball like the exercise ball I was using? Neither of them is in my membership right now, but at some point I am likely to add a stall bar program to the membership because I think there's many people who want to know how to use it. So it's not on there right now, but it is coming in the future. I have a lot of videos here on my YouTube channel, a lot of YouTube shorts. If you look through my shorts, you'll see a lot of videos about the stall bar, including a series where I give you 10 beginner exercises to start with. And if you want me to tag you in that video, I can. Okay, shoulder rainbows. This is one of the kettlebell solo exercises I absolutely love for upper body. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend. It's great for your obliques, really your entire core as well. That's 4. We're going to go to 10. 5. 6. This is a great exercise you can do instead of an overhead press. If that doesn't work for your range of motion, works a lot of the same muscle groups in a slightly different way. Whew. Okay, that was hard with that weight. Erin said, I'm really tired after about 15 minutes of kettlebells, but my muscles can take more if that makes sense. Yeah, Erin, do you mean you're tired like cardio-wise from the exercises? Let me see if I can tag Archana in that video I was telling her about. 10 beginner exercises. If I can quickly find it here while I rest from that set, because that kind of was harder than I thought it was going to be because, well, I'm tired from the other exercises. Okay. Stall bar strength exercises. Beginner stall bar stretches. Can I tag people? I can tag people in shorts, right? Let's see. I always forget what I can do on YouTube versus. I don't think it lets me tag, but I'm gonna drop it here in the chat. 7 beginner stall bar stretches. So if you're interested in checking that out, check that out. Let me see if I can quickly find the other one. 10 beginner stall bar stretches. Oops. Searching my own content. I got too much content. Okay, here it is. Yeah, Erin, kettlebells are cardio, so you are also doing cardio when you're doing kettlebells. So it makes sense if it's getting your heart rate up. Totally normal. Let's see. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of weight to my side lunge hold here, just to increase that challenge just a little bit, and works my arms and my core a little more. Ten more seconds. I can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay, that was definitely a bit harder, bit harder. Other side. It's 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. Isometrics are hard. Archana, check out the 2 links I just shared in the chat. One of them is 7 beginner stall bar stretches, and the other one is 10 stall bar strength exercises for beginners. Check those out to get started on your stall bar journey. Those are some great exercises to begin with. 2 to 3 times a week, 1 or 2 sets of them. And if you don't have a stall bar yet, check out Beyond Balance. That's the brand of stall bar I have. If you use my code KB Fit Britt, you get 10% off your order. I absolutely love it. Would get it again in a heartbeat. Thanks, YouTube Punk. Thank you for joining. I will tell the kitties you said pss, 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 and have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. You're awesome. All right. Almost done here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Shoulder rainbows up next. If you guys have any other questions for me, drop them in the chat. Also, if you are not on my mailing list, if you are not on the Kettlebell Solo mailing list, which is the membership I run, you definitely want to You're going to want to get on those mailing lists soon because, you know, Black Friday is coming up. We are going to be doing some Black Friday offers. We are making some changes to the Kettlebell Solo membership, which you might be interested in. So you're going to want to stay tuned. We're going to update you on that in just a few weeks or at the beginning of November. So if you're not on the mailing list already, make sure you get on it. And if you want to get on it and you don't know how, let me know in the chat and I'll send you the link. You're welcome, Archana. Aaron said, I've seen kettlebell sport people with weightlifting belts. Do they actually use them in a powerlifting sense? Great question, Aaron. No, they don't use them in a powerlifting sense. Powerlifting, it's like to protect your back and to create more pressure in your abdomen when you're lifting super heavy. For kettlebell sport, the belt actually doesn't sit around your stomach. It sits around your hips. It sits lower. I have one, but it's in the other room. Otherwise, I'd show it to you. But it sits around your hips, and it's actually to help push up your body so that your elbows can rest on top of that kind of skin that pushes up. And then you'll find more rest in that rack position, which if you don't have rest in the rack position, it's pretty much impossible to make it through a 10-minute set because your arms will get too tired. So the belt is actually there to support you being more comfortable and being able to better relax in the rack position. I do have an article that talks all about kettlebell sport belts and what they're used for. I'll drop that in the chat in case you are interested in reading more about that, Aaron. You can check that out here. I just dropped that blog post. There's kind of a frequently asked question and a video from a kettlebell sport guy who is kind of talking all about belts. I think I have a video on YouTube as well, actually. That might be easier to access there, where I yes, I have an FAQ video here also if you're interested in watching me answer frequently asked questions about kettlebell sport belts or belts for kettlebell sport lifting. It's a good question. Most people don't know. I didn't know that when I first started doing kettlebell sport. I didn't know why people use belts, and I didn't think I needed one until later on in my kettlebell sport career. I discovered how very useful and necessary they were to get a maximum number of repetitions in that sport. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Okay, we're almost there, thank goodness. I'm gonna get a sip of water. And we're gonna go last set of side lunges. All right. Psych myself up for these. These are harder than they look, I'm telling you. If you haven't tried these, try them, but make sure you try them without a weight first, because they're plenty hard body weight when you're first starting. And don't go too low. You want to make sure all your muscles stay active. As you go too low, it's easy to kind of start to relax the legs a bit. You stay up higher, whoo, they're going to start to shake like my legs are shaking now. 10 seconds to go. Last set. Last 5 seconds. Ooh, okay. All right. I think we may just finish it out with these last couple exercises here. If you guys have questions for me about today's workout, if you have questions about Kettlebell Solo, which is the kettlebell training system I teach, I have a membership. I teach follow-along classes and programs. We have tons of different programs depending on your goals, whether you're training for strength, endurance, conditioning, full body, lower upper body split. We got a lot of great programs to choose from. So be sure to check that out at kettlebellsolo.com, or you can check out my other YouTube channel, which is Kettlebell Solo, S-O-L-O. One, 2, 3. My arms are not as tired as my legs. 4, 5, but they're getting there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo. Sorry, I bounced off my microphone, so if there was a loud noise, I apologize for that. Okay. We're going to finish it out with the shoulder rainbow. If you haven't tried the shoulder rainbow, man, I recommend it. It's a favorite upper body exercise I've learned in the last few years. Ooh, it's killer. 1, start light. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, okay. Okay. Who came up with this workout? Man. Aaron asked, when you say strength, I guess the workout you did today isn't for explosive type strength, more for stability. I would say the workout I did today, yeah, it's definitely more for strength, which should be your foundation before doing anything explosive or fast. So generally, you're going to want to make sure you have mobility, stability, and strength before you train speed, power, and even endurance. You want to make sure that you have those three foundations set. So for most people, and I generally coach people who are either beginners to kettlebells or people who are just looking to stay fit and healthy, especially over the age of 50, generally your huckleberry is going to be to focus on your mobility, stability, and strength. It's not to say you can't work speed, you can't work endurance, you can't work power. You absolutely can, and you don't need to train them all the time. You want to make sure you have a really solid foundation of those other things first. But we do also train, you know, your speed and your power with kettlebell swings and other faster exercises. So we do train a variety of different things. It's good to rotate it. That's why inside the Kettlebell Solo membership, we rotate our programs. So we have programs that focus on different areas and aspects of your health and fitness, and we rotate them so that you're not always training strength, but you're not always training speed, you're not always training endurance. You're rotating it to make sure you get a very well-rounded program. So I hope that makes sense. Aaron, let me know if you have any other questions. You guys have any other questions for me today about the workout, about training in general, about kettlebells? Let me know in the chat. As I mentioned, there's some exciting updates coming to the Kettlebell Solo membership. So if you're not already on my mailing list for Kettlebell Solo, you're going to want to be. I'm trying to get that link for you here real quick. That way, if you haven't signed up, you can. So this is going to be the sign-up link to the 7-day Kettlebell Jumpstart, which is a great way to get started with kettlebell training. Daniel asked, post-workout shake. I don't do that. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of protein powder. I do like some protein bars, but protein powders like in a shake just doesn't usually sit well for me. So I'll probably have some water. I might have some fruit or like a light snack post-workout, but I had a pretty big meal a few hours ago. So I'm not too depleted of fuel at the moment. Aaron asked, so strength is how much you can lift. Well, there's different ways to, the word strength encompasses a lot of things. So strength can mean, I think of strength as like building your capacity. So maximal strength would be training how much weight you can lift at the maximum for like say 1 rep. But your strength can improve for 3 reps or 5 reps or 8 to 10 reps. Once you start getting more into like 15, 20 reps, you're going more towards your strength endurance. So there are kind of different, strength is kind of a broad term, but overall you want to kind of think that you're raising, with strength, I think of it kind of as raising your baseline. So whereas maybe you started out with always using an 8 kg kettlebell, maybe over time you're starting to use heavier weights and you're starting to get stronger, and then you kind of build your baseline that now you're able to use a 10 kg for most things, and you're able to occasionally increase that weight a little bit higher. So just over time, you're just raising your baseline bit by bit. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be constantly doing that forever, because at some point, Maintenance becomes progress, especially as we get older. So in my opinion, our goal isn't just necessarily to always get stronger forever, but to slowly improve the baseline, and at the very least to maintain and maybe fill in weaknesses or holes so that overall you're just better balanced, and like I said, that baseline is higher than it was when you started. Aaron said, I don't like protein powder, I have sardines and hot sauce. Hey, sardines are really healthy for you. I don't know if I could stomach that after a workout, but I applaud you if you can, because it got so many nutrients in there. Yeah, and Aaron, it's also important to remember to go back down from time to time, because we can't just keep pushing our weight up and up forever. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of this workout, the last few weeks I've been enjoying using some heavier weights, but that's not going to last forever, because at some point I'm going to start to feel like, okay, I need to back off of the heavier weights. I need to go back down and kind of give my body time to recover, just work on my form, work on my stability, my balance, my mobility, and take some time away from those heavier weights. And that doesn't mean you'll lose your progress, just gives your body some time to adapt and recover from those weights. So you don't necessarily want to just keep pushing the weight up forever. That's usually a way to hit a plateau and not be able to continue making progress. So make sure that you're undulating that and taking some time away from pushing the weight as well. All right, you guys, I'm going to log off for today. Thank you so much for joining me, making this an enjoyable YouTube Live. It's not fun when it's just me. It's fun when we're here having a dialogue, so I really appreciate you being here. I will plan to do this a little bit more often than I have been. So I appreciate you. Let me know if you have any requests for future lives, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.